So this is going to be part 2 of the ridiculous trommel build that I'm not sure is going to work. I don't know why it won't work, but it hasn't been confirmed yet. Anyway, so if you're watching this, I figured you might actually be interested in building one, or actually interested in how and more stuff that I did. So to refresh, what we have is a lawnmower engine. That engine should run about 3,600 RPMs, right? On the bottom of that is a 3-inch pulley, and that goes over to the 9-inch pulley for the transmission. So that should get us around, I think it was 1,166 or something. So drop the RPMs there. It goes into the transmission, and it's got multiple speeds to it, which is why I selected this particular one. It's an old school, not like a hydrostatic. And I've confirmed that at least on one setting, which I think is full blast, it does a 6-to-1 ratio. So 6 in the top, 1 out the bottom. Okay, so that gets us right down there. Then we have an 8-inch rim right there that we're using, and that's going to a 48-inch pulley thing, trommel. So from the way I'm mathing it, we should be able to get this thing down to 40 or 50 RPMs on the trommel side by inputting the 3,600 RPMs on the engine side. And I went with this because I saw other people that did like a bunch of rims and wheels and pulleys and tried to build it themselves. But I thought an engineered gearbox transmission should hold up a little bit better, better tolerances. And if it breaks, I can just go find another one, because, you know, once the engine goes on a riding lawnmower, people throw them away. So for this, we built the trommel, got the circles, made it start as an octagon. If you saw part 1, that's a 22.5 degree cut that you want to go with. Okay, piece them together. Once we built the 3 rings, I came in here with bed rail, and the bed rail is through bolted all the way to the outside, and 1x4s, which are just screwed in with 3-inch screws. And then all that got zip tied on the bed rail. So there's about 140 zip ties on this thing in total. And then for the 1x4s, I just used stainless steel staples. So food for thought, if you're doing this, if you're thinking about it, is I thought it would be awesome to tuck my screen in here. Yeah, no problem. But here's the thing. As the screen went that way, it went from going the circumference of a circle to the circumference of that octagon, and that's smaller. So that made some wrinkles in my plan and the mesh that I had to deal with. I dealt with them, ended up cutting it, and using my construction thread to sew it back together and kind of get the bump out of it. Hard to see, but I mean, good enough. So with that, then we have the groove here. There's one of my through bolts, and it goes around, and I went to Harbor Freight and got the biggest caster I could, which I think is a 5-inch. And so the trommel should rotate on that. Now this right now is just setup purposes. It's going to be, the wheels will be a little further apart and some different stuff. Today's project is going to be building the stand that this goes on, because we now have the thing that rotates, the trommel. We have the thing that's going to rotate it. So now we just need the thing it sits on to rotate. So this side is 4 feet, and this is 1/4-inch mesh here. And then on the other side, we stepped up and did a 1/2-inch mesh. So The idea is we get two sizes out of this by throwing it in once. Super fines and fines. So now for the trommel, right now it's sitting flat. I'm going to have to elevate this side here so that the stuff goes that way slowly, which I know is going to create, it's going to sit on a hill then, and I'm going to have to build in for the stand some sort of roller that pushes back here, one on each side. That way, as the trommel tries to go downhill, the rollers say no and push it back uphill. If I could do this over, if you're thinking about it, I went through a lot of big deal to cut the octagon into a circle. And that bit me in the butt with the fabric, but it also bit me in the butt longevity. So right now, this is tucked in. If it breaks, I've got to take it all apart, which I'm not happy about, but it's done now. But don't do it on yours. If I would have left the octagon's shape, it would have saved me that cutout time, but then I could have put these in the corner of the octagon. That would have let me pull around the octagon and have an octagon border. Because what we did over here, back and forth. What's going on here is I got smarter and I didn't overlap it. Because in the future, if this goes, I can just peel it off, put new on there, butt it up against this, and then back to work. Where if you try to tuck it in, then you have all the issues. So you have to take it apart to replace it. That doesn't make no sense at all. And I'm building this to last, but it's not going to last forever. Even the commercial ones don't last forever. They use the same idea of just wrapping the screen around a big drum. And when I went to do that, I also wasn't fighting the transition from a circle to an octagon, which caused the wrinkles on that side. It just pulled tight. And really, it maybe left some little gaps here, but it's so small, it doesn't matter. So the big hussy-do of getting a circle was garbage. It was just garbage. Hindsight's 2020 though. I like the 8 foot because you get 4 feet on each side. And then the idea is to get this off the ground enough so I can put totes down there to catch it. And hopefully get a lot of fines out of this. The bed rail in here, that's me, bolting it together to get 8 feet. If I had angle iron that was 8 feet, then I would have gone with that. But, and I'm not super happy about the 1x4s in there. I'd rather them be metal, but it is what it is. And this is my trommel built my way with the stuff available to me. But if you had something else, if you had access to giant 3-foot metal rings, that'd be dandy. So that's where we're at. I don't know. If you ask the question in the comments, if anyone ever watches this, then I'll try to respond. I'm trying to share what exactly is going on in my head and how I'm going to go about this and the thought process that went into it. So we're on day number it's like day number 6 or 7. I don't know. This thing has taken over the garage. It's taken over everything. Sawdust everywhere. It's a disaster. But I'll show y'all. I'll give y'all a spin. Here we go. It's like Price is Right now. It's heavy, so you don't spin for long. But bro, it spins. Oh, here's what we got. Sawhorses. Why not? I'm gonna need to brace them up a little bit more, but it is what it is. It seems to be working. It seems to be spinning. I mean, we're bracing, wheels on, running square. This is going to be the event if it works, or bonfire stuff if it doesn't. So, we're gonna run some braces from up here attached to this up here. That way it doesn't collapse like that when I'm chucking, hopefully, lots of mulch into it. I have an idea about my belt. I know I wasn't really sure if the belt would do it. So I just went with old Grandpappy styles and wrapped a rope twice around it. And with that is giving a lot of grab. So I'm happy. Got these all rounded, squared up. A lot of work, a lot of success. But the last thing I'm doing today, and it's the day, I just finished tearing apart the heart of the whole project. So just took the carb off, just did all that, went to go maybe do a first pull, and I got no gas. So I'm going to run to the gas station real quick, but I'm going to share this because it's getting dark, and then we'll be back, and we'll see if the goal is to see if this will spin that, and that will spin the rim. So the wife agreed to go to the gas station for me, so because my wife's better than yours, and that got me the couple minutes I needed of daylight to hook this rope up. Because I'm thinking, if you're going to start that, let's just see how this runs the first time. So I put a little 2x4 brace. It's not done, of course, but let's see. I just put some gas in it. We'll give her a minute for the carb to fill. I might be tearing the motor back apart because it didn't work, or she might roar to life and something else is going to break. So this is not the end. This is the beginning of fixing something that we don't know about. So I need 2 hands for this to make sure that I still have 2 hands at the end of this, but hold on.
It is working. This is spinning, and that's spinning. That's not. You ready?
We're going to try to kick it into neutral.
I hand you to the wife. Hold on, here, film this. You ready? It's all spinning.
So here we are. It's the final day. It's the final day of this build. I've been at it for 3-4 hours trying to scratch my head, knock it out, dealing with a lot of issues that I knew were coming. But so first thing we did, we had some bracing. Instead of just relying on our sawhorse stands, we put a 2x6 here, and then we ran it up to tie in, and we did that on the other side too. So this thing is now solid. We did that on both sides. And then the conundrum I've been dealing with is trommels have to tilt. They have to tilt. That's how you make sure all the stuff comes out the side that you're not putting stuff in, right? I got online and I was looking, it's about 5 degrees is an ideal tilt, I guess. Sometimes it's a little more. If it's dry, sometimes it's a little less. If it's like wet material that needs to sit in there a little longer. But basically, I'm going to aim for a 5-degree tilt to start with. And I've built this level so I can just put cinder blocks or blocking under this side to raise it up, let's say at 8 inches. And then that will make, obviously, that side lower. The problem with that is, as you tilt it and you add a lot of weight, which I'm hoping this thing can hold like 100 pounds or 150 pounds of mulch at a time as it processes through. And that's a lot of weight. It's now going to want to go downhill and push on our rollers here. And our rollers need to ride in that groove. So if they start to be pushed to one way or the other, I don't think it's going to be good. So that's what I've been working on for the majority of today. What I did is I added this board bracing across, okay? And we are going to have this board pushing back. So as this thing tries to come toward us, this board says denied. This board here, I don't know if I can show you. Oh, man. Where's the other one? Haha, I got it. What we have here is a swivel. It's hard plastic, and it'll swivel back and forth for us, okay? And that's attached in there on that board, okay? And then down here, we have a hinge, right? Following? And then here, we have an adjusting screw that goes all the way through to the other side. So the thought is, this is a 2x6, so the thought is I should be able to tighten this nut here and it will pull it in, which will push that in. And this is about a foot up, and this is about 3 feet up, so I don't know if my bolt's big enough, but bolts are cheap. So that's going to be pushing on the whole trommel to make sure that the trommel stays uphill as we load it. And I've got this one completed, and tonight the goal is to get another one completed on this side. So that way we have one on each side pushing back. We can also separately adjust them with our bolts to apply different amounts of pressure to compensate for the guy that built this thing, probably a little crooked, and do that. So then the idea is we're kind of done. I have to move it out into where I'm going to be using it. I'm going to permanently attach some more bracing, but I don't want to attach it and put it all together on a flat surface and then make it tilt, you know? So I want to get it kind of set up at that 5 degrees. So 5 degrees is about a 1/12 pitch. It's like 1.05. So this side here, and I'm still figuring this camera out, and I think it shut off on me, so I had to restart in mid-thought. So forgive me. But this side has to come up about 8 inches, 8.5 inches, because this thing's 8 foot long. And it's getting really big, really fast. And it's just because that's, you know, it's scrapped wood. It's wood that I had. These are materials I had. Not ideal, but officially we are in this for $215 and 8 foot long, 3 foot wide trommel that hopefully is going to do a lot. So clearly not one for if you just have a cute little compost pile, but I mean, I've got yards and yards of mulch to go through, so kind of, hopefully it's built for what I want. So anyways, this is the last video. This is where we're at. We've added some bracing. We're dealing with the want to go downhill to try to set it back up and keep it stable as we load it. And the next time I'm going to be recording will be like the reveal day, where I'm going to drag it in the yard, set it back up, and we're going to see what this thing can do, if anything. And all right, I'm going to get to it. I'm so bad at this. I'll talk to y'all later. I'm getting back to it. Bye.